Welcome back to the next episode of the eCom Growth Show. I'm your host, Danan Coleman, founder of eCom Triage, co-founder of Catalog Defender, and the host, of course, of this lovely, beautiful, and excellent best-in-class podcast. So I've got a very special guest with me. His name is Vince Montero, and he's been in the Amazon sector for quite some time, has quite a bit of experience, specifically with ads. Vince, would you please introduce yourself? Tell us who you are, where you came from, where you are today, and where are you going?
Sure. In a nutshell, I've been in digital marketing for 20 years. One of my clients back in 2017 started selling on Amazon, and because I had been in so many different ad tech companies at the time, they asked me to take a look at their ads, and I figured it out, taught myself. 2 years later, Helium 10, who I'm sure you've heard of,
Never heard
picked
of
me
him.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the time in 2019, they didn't have any PPC software, which is surprising because they had software for literally everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And I built that out as their kind of expert in-house, and did that for 3.5 years. Did tons of training videos. Did tons of all the marketing. Was basically the evangelist for that. And that's where most people still recognize me from. We were just at Accelerate, and I was still getting people talking about my time at Helium 10. And I still actually do guest star in some of the Tacos Tuesday sessions, which is a webinar that I started when I was over there. But yeah, that ended about 2.5 years ago, and I just went back to my roots of business development, consulting, and basically running my own small agency. And luckily, I held on to some of my clients from before my time at Helium 10, and
Yeah.
I've just grown that out since then. So yeah, that's what I'm here. That's my in a nutshell story.
Awesome. I like it. And then where's Vince going? Are you looking to expand your client base or
Yeah, I am.
is it-
I've been keeping it kind of boutique in the past couple of years, and because I really do love my clients, and I love actually really becoming their marketing arm as far as Amazon is concerned. But yeah, I'm getting to that point where I'm starting to have to turn away clients, which is never a good. It's a good problem to have, but a bad problem if you can't solve it, right?
yes.
So, so yeah, I have I've hired some VAs earlier this year, and I'm talking to a couple other people about maybe bringing them on or merging, so that I can actually help more and more sellers. So it's an exciting time for planning for 2026.
Awesome. Yeah. That's one of the things that I'm trying to solve is how do I help more people? Like
Mm,
I'm, I want to help it scale, you
at
know?
scale.
Yeah, that's the problem. Well, not the problem. That's what I'm looking to solve right now is like right now I can help people remove negative reviews. I've got Catalog Defender for monitoring for critical issues, but I also have a massive network in the Amazon community. So
You do.
I've been looking at I don't know what you would even call it. Like when a new software, a new exciting software comes to market, I have the network to bring it out there,
Hmm.
but I'm not looking for a job.
Right.
And so I don't know, I haven't been able to figure this out. Like, how do I want to leverage the network that I have to bring something that really is truly incredible to people
Hmm.
without pigeonholing myself into that one thing, you know?
Yeah, I've
Like,
on the side, because I did spent so much time at Helium 10, I've actually helped. I'm on my second software company that I'm actually assisting, helping them grow their software out,
yeah,
and
nice.
I really enjoy that. But kind of right now, I'm just doing that for a consulting basis. But
Mhm.
whenever I go to shows and conferences, I'm like, God, it'd be really cool to actually be known as the face of that tool again, because that's what I
Yeah,
used to be for Adtomic. It used to be called Adtomic. Now it's just Helium 10 ads. They just changed the name, rebrand.
yeah.
So,
What?
especially
Helium
at
10, they've
different,
never rebranded before.
yeah, exactly. Bunch of name changes coming, I think, by the end of this year for a lot of
Oh,
their
yeah?
tools. Yeah,
Mm,
and they're getting rid of a lot of probably unused tools now, so to clean
okay,
it up. But
yeah,
yeah, it's finding that balance between, because I have my own business, so
uh-huh,
I don't necessarily need to or want to go work for another company, but it would be good to be able to evangelize something that you are using
yeah,
and enjoy,
yes,
and get spread the word, like you were
yes.
saying.
Yes, exactly. And the fact of the matter is, and I'm sure you found the same thing, that those companies, they need somebody like us
They
full
do.
time,
Yeah, they do.
you know? And that's
Yeah.
that's the dichotomy for me is like, listen, I want to help you, but if if I agree to help you, I don't want to do it half-assed, you know? But I can't afford to go full time, or you can't afford me to go full time.
Right.
And I'm
That's
not
the other
looking
part.
for, yeah, that is the other part. Anyhow, I make some introductions for these companies, and they benefit from it. Uh, but yeah, all right, cool. Let's get on topic here. This is what it's like dealing with me. It's like, okay, let's go squirrel.
In the same way.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right. So I've got a series of 5 questions that I'm going to ask you. And I know your history. You and I have known each other, man, I don't know, quite a few years now. Uh,
At
four,
least
five.
since 2021 when we started going back to
Oh,
post-COVID,
yeah.
I believe.
Yeah. Post COVID. Are you sure it wasn't what was the Prosper show? I think we met at the Prosper show that was in that, what hotel was that at? The Westgate.
Yes, yeah, yeah, it was their first one after post-COVID, right?
I guess it was. Okay. For some reason I thought it was pre-COVID, but
No, because
okay.
2019, I didn't start Helium 10 till September later in the year, so I missed that one,
Ah. Okay, good.
right?
Well,
And then 2020, obviously they had to, yeah. So 2021 is the one. I won't forget it. It was July of 2021, and it was the first time everyone was out and about because COVID was over, and of course Delta came out, and Delta came out primarily in Vegas.
okay.
So that's when I got COVID again for the first time.
Excellent. Okay, good. And I remember that being like 60% aggregators
Yes,
at that one.
that was the aggregator show. Thank God
Yes, it was.
that's gone
Oh my
away.
gosh. All right, cool. Well, let me run through these questions.
Sure.
So, what are the biggest changes you've seen over the years?
Gosh. So when I first started, there was just sponsored product ads. So for those of you that are maybe not in it, it's just the search result ads, right? The sponsored that you just see, not even the top ones, that's sponsored brand, but everything underneath that.
That's right.
So I got to
All
see
text.
when, yeah, they launched headline search ads, which is what sponsored brand ads eventually turned into. And then I got to see them launch sponsored display and then DSP, video. So I've basically seen the whole iteration from start to now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when
So
I
it's
started, there
definitely
was no ads.
before me. Yeah.
Yeah.
20
Yeah.
2017 is my start date.
Yeah, I started selling on Amazon in 2010, and so FBA was an invite only. The ads program had not released yet for 3P,
Hmm.
and at that time, if you had a good main image, you just made money.
Yeah.
That's all it took.
That's all it took.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've seen the entire iteration of, but I mean, even though you started 7 years after me, I don't think that Amazon PPC started until 2012. And
Hmm.
they were just figuring it all out. So they didn't actually start offering all these other things until much later, 5 plus years later.
Yeah. I think it was 2015, 2016, really, that it kind of hit its stride.
Okay.
At that time, though, you didn't need to do it. Like when I started doing it in 2017, for some clients, it was still, they were doing it like as an extra
Yeah.
layer,
Yeah.
right? Whereas now it's no, you need to do it. That's the major transition. PPC used to be a nice add-on. Now it's no, no, no. This is a part of this is a real business, and every business has a marketing budget. This is your marketing budget now. It's not a nice to have anymore, unless you come out with a product that's got zero competition, right?
Yeah. Which
Then
we,
maybe you don't need ads. Other
yeah.
than that,
Yeah. We don't run ads. We haven't run ads. I haven't done an ads campaign in 7 years. And now I'm not saying that to boast. And in fact, I don't even recommend it. But our, we have brand search. And because we
okay.
have brand search, we have ultra high conversion rates
Hmm.
and crazy. I just looked yesterday or the day before,
Hmm.
highest dollar amount repeat client is $8,900 on Amazon. Yeah. And then there's like 8,000, 7,000, 6,000, 5,000, 4,000. And so I have these clients, I've been selling this product for a decade on Amazon.
Right.
And so these people that they just search and buy it, and that's that. So
I think it's also because you started in 2012,
2010, this product,
2010,
we've
even
had it since
earlier,
2005.
2005, right?
Yeah.
If you, number one, have brand
Sorry,
recognition
sorry.
outside of Amazon,
2015. I meant
2015.
2015. Yeah.
If you have brand recognition outside of Amazon, and
Yes.
or you started really early. Like my first client from 2017 is still my client, right?
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he left me once for another agency, then came back
Nice.
after they screwed everything up. And I think I have 2019, I have 2020 for some of my clients. So the stuff that I can do for them, or the way that they rank, because I look at organic as well. The way that they rank organically is way different than how I could even try to get someone to rank organically now, right?
Ah.
And they're because they're grandfathered in.
Yeah.
Amazon has so much data, especially on you, even older. Amazon has so much data on you. They know that you're a shoe in, like your product's going to sell.
Yeah.
So even probably for your non-branded terms organically, you probably do pretty well because Amazon knows this brand, this niche does really, really well. So you get a natural boost, honestly, from just being in there for so long, which unfortunately is another reason why PPC is a necessity right now, because people that launch in the past year, 2 years, or in the future, they have none of that. They have zero history with Amazon. Unfortunately, fortunately for me,
Yeah.
ads is one of the ways to drive that and get at least into the sponsored algorithm so that they start building that history within Amazon sooner than later.
Mm-hmm. Mm. I never really considered it. That's
Hmm.
actually a very astute observation. And I'm sure even though Amazon doesn't tell us anything when it comes
No,
to like what you've
nothing.
just commented on, but I think you're actually right. Now, with that being said, I also and this has since stopped, but I used to have these crazy rogue issues with my product details page with stuff getting deleted and stuff like
Mm,
that. And so I think that I on the flip side of that coin, I was also grandfathered into some old code, and when they were making changes, it broke
hmm
things on my listing. That
hmm
seems to I'd have to ask my wife for verification, but I think that that actually has since been resolved. But that for years, for about 5 years, we would just be like, "Where the hell's all our other images?
Right.
Why did our title change? Where
Yeah.
are our bullet points?" It got
hmm
to the point where my wife actually kept our entire listing on a Google Doc because it was changing so often.
Yeah, just to save it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Amazon, again, over the years, routinely changes things. You
Yep.
just brought to mind, at least from the PPC perspective, they do the same thing. So
Mhm.
sponsored brand ads for any of your listeners that are doing PPC. There's I think they're into version 4 now. So anything below
Uh,
version 4 at the end of October, the month we're recording in, they're going to be either archived or switched over to the new version. Amazon keeps changing the language on that. But so what I'm doing right now for all my clients is looking at all the sponsored brand campaigns, which there's, depending on the size of the account, there can be a lot, and seeing which are the older versions. I think if it's over maybe 1 year, 2 years old, anything before that is considered the old version.
mm.
Um, and so it's interesting. Like if you don't stay on top of the changes that they're doing, even in the ads arena, it it can bite you if someone's not watching that account and you've got, and again, because of history, some of these sponsored brand campaigns do really, really well, and unfortunately I've had to relaunch them as of like a month or two ago because I saw the notice a while ago, and so I started proactively moving them over, but it's like starting from scratch. So we had
Yeah,
these great campaigns and then all of a sudden, boom. Luckily, they are adding new things. And some of the things they talked about at Accelerate, like audience targeting and things like that. So now I'm testing new audience targeting on these rehab or refurbed or relaunched, I should say, campaigns that used to do really, really well. And now I'm like starting from scratch. I'm like, okay, what can I do to get this up to speed as quickly as possible? Um, and new to brand audiences is one of the things I'm actually testing out right now. But yeah, again, if you're not watching it, Amazon will make changes, and they're really really bad at communicating what the effects of those changes might be.
Well, yeah, they don't even know. So here's the
That's probably
crazy
why.
thing. Yeah, here's the crazy thing I actually recently found out is that your product details page, you would think that there's an Amazon team that's responsible for that page, right? No, there is not. There are teams upon teams upon teams that are responsible for what ultimately becomes your PDP.
Hmm.
Whereas this section, it's run by this team over here. They don't communicate with this team over here. And what I found out, there are even teams that are responsible for part of a form that you
Hmm.
fill out, but not the entirety control of it. And so when you have a problem, this is why it's like what it's like dealing with customer support. If you have a problem and you say, "Hey, this is not displaying properly," well, there's 70 different teams. That's a made
Hmm.
up number, everybody, but there's 70 different teams that somebody has to know exists, which is impossible at Amazon. And so that's why it's so aggravating and time consuming to get certain things resolved.
Yeah, it's the
But
same thing with ads. They don't. The
yeah,
sponsor brand team has multiple units in it. Sponsored product team, same. Sponsored display, and they don't talk to each other. I think they are improving. I will say over the
I think
past
so.
year, I've noticed some things in that. I mean, it is Amazon's largest revenue driver, so you would think they would want to streamline that as much as
Yeah,
possible.
exactly.
But back in the day, like I remember when they launched something with sponsored display, and it actually countered something that they were doing in sponsored brands, and it was when I was at Helium 10. So at that time, I was talking to Amazon regularly, and I brought it up to them, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, you're right. That doesn't like these are doing the same things." And they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we'll talk to the whatever
The other
responsible team."
team. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's wild, man. It's if you go to Seattle, which we've all been there,
Hmm.
um, there are, I think Amazon owns the majority of downtown Seattle.
Mm.
They
Oh yeah,
own
I
I
believe
don't
that.
know how many it is, but it is a significant number of skyscrapers that they own there. And if you go like, what do they call the bubbles? The
The
bubble
spheres.
building? Yeah, the spheres. If you go to the spheres at about 5 o'clock PM and you just walk around that area, you'll start to get an idea of just how many people there are. Like, you go to any downtown and 5 o'clock hits and people come out and they're all going to their stuff. Well, in Seattle, it's all Amazon people,
Hmm.
you know? All right, cool.
Yep.
Well, it's let's get on to the next question because we're starting to run out of time here. Cool.
No worries.
What are the most I'm going to switch gears here. What are the most exciting announcements out of Amazon Accelerate that sellers should know about? This is super important.
Yeah, so I mentioned a couple of them, or at least the audiences. So expanding audience capabilities, expanding AMC connectivity. So the biggest announcement that, in my opinion, that they made was they launched AMC for all sellers. It might just be North America for now, but the ability to get access to that used to be very restrictive. And so they've really opened that up. And AMC, a lot of people, it's basically Amazon has all the data on all of us based on all our shopping behavior, right? They know when we have a new baby. They know when we move. Obviously they know the stuff that we have in our cart. So they can really kind of like figure out this person likes this, and this. So they have all this audience data that they group together. And that's what they've given access to. And they've also made it a lot easier. One of the biggest issues with that is that you had to know SQL in order to actually look
Really?
through the data, right, and
Oh,
create
interesting.
audiences. So, which is why it was held within agencies or within specific departments in Amazon because it was difficult. Um, Through AI, though, they also launched, I think it's called the AI query generator, just maybe query generator.
Oh,
So
yeah, I saw
basically,
something. Yeah.
yeah. I was one of my partners showed me how they integrated that into their software. You can use Amazon directly as well, but it's like ChatGPT style, so you can actually just say, "This is the exact type of audience I am looking for," and it'll run the query for you automatically, right?
Mhm.
So you don't have to know SQL anymore. So you can actually go and it'll tell you this is how many people we found, in this audience segment, or it might say these are some categories that we already have broken out that might match this
Got
this
it.
query. So really, really powerful stuff that I've been testing.
Mhm.
Um, as we're in Q4, I think new to brand shoppers, if you're really trying to boost that, that's one thing you can do now in sponsored brands that I've been testing. And then in sponsored products, and these are templated, so this is templates you can go in. High intent purchasers is another templated audience I've been testing. So if you don't want to build out the AMC audiences, you can actually use templates that are in Seller Central. But I'm really excited to actually go in, and I just started this week actually building out kind of more custom queries to build out custom audiences for some of my clients for the holiday season.
That's interesting. Okay, I wanna comment on that in just one second. Before I go on, I'd like to define for the listeners what SQL is. It's SQL, it's a database structure, and if you don't know it, you don't know what you're looking at. Think
Correct.
of think of Excel spreadsheets only three-dimensional
Yes.
a and, um and crazy associations all over the place. So that's probably, and I don't know SQL either, but
Mhm.
I once helped
You
run
know
an
more than I do.
energy. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I had to deal with SQL a little bit many years ago. I co-ran an energy sales company, and we had to have a SQL engineer to
Mhm.
to for our back end to manage all of our clients and who was buying what, and
Mhm.
it was a lot of work for this guy. But anyhow,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what SQL is. It's a database structure. And okay, cool. And then I forgot what I was gonna say next. What was the last thing you said?
That you can now get access to that data just using their AI
Oh,
query generator.
that's right. Yeah. So I just did a demo with a new product out there. I'm not going to name them yet because I haven't tested it myself. But basically, they're implementing the same thing. And there's another one out there called Flowin.ai that's doing something similar, which I have tested. I'm very impressed with. But basically, you are now using prompting and chatting with an AI to run these sequences of checks and audits and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And we might even implement this into Catalog Defender in the future. But one of the conversations I had with the person, and Vince, this might be beneficial for you, is that, hey, um, if you like, he was telling me, if you create these custom prompts and audits, then anyone that uses them, you'll get some kind of override on, right? Um, I thought that was a very interesting model because me having 15 years experience on Amazon, I have an
Mhm.
idea or two of what's actually important to look at, and
Mhm.
then what also needs to be looked at that affects your revenue before it shows in the numbers.
Mm.
And so yeah, I was just thinking as you were saying that, well, if Amazon and these other companies, they have these AIs, it's still only as good as the data that you feed into it or the prompt, right?
Absolutely.
Somebody like you, I mean, they call these prompt engineers, right? Like this is something that you could probably do to help a lot of people is, okay,
Mm.
do you want to perform X? Good. Here's the prompt for that.
Right. That's a
Because
good idea. Yeah.
yeah, because if you prompt like I do, my prompt is tell me what I need to do in 5 minutes, right? Doesn't get you very
Not gonna
far.
get the same result. Yeah.
No, but I happen to also know how to actually engineer a prompt to get a good result. It's just time consuming.
Yeah,
Um,
it is.
but that
It
is
can be.
something, yeah, it can be. But always at the same time, simpler is always better. Get better
Yeah,
results.
as I, play around with that query generator more and more and figure out, okay, what's going to get me the best results, then I should be saving those audience queries and being like, I'm gonna open a note in my Notion and start storing some of those
Yeah.
as I test
Yeah,
them.
man. We'll talk about that more in a little bit, but
Sure.
we're gonna wrap it up here in a little bit. I've got two more questions for you before we
Okay.
wrap it up. What are you most excited about testing?
Well, I kind of already covered that too. So basically, the audience, the different custom audiences. There is also, I will say, and I've played around with it a little bit. They also launched. It was right before Accelerate, but still, um, a really quick and easy AI video generator. So
Mhm.
there's an area in Amazon you can just plop in your product. That's all I ask for, just your product. It will literally just scan your product listing, all the other images in it. Um, and create some animation out of the images that it has from the listing from the A plus content. And it's what I've seen it be really interesting is, and what it might be really good for is sellers that don't have any of that yet. Maybe they're brand new and they've got a pretty simple product. It has to be a simple product. If it's a confusing product, the tool kind of really doesn't know that yet. I've got one, bike racks, for example, wall mounted bike racks, one of my clients, and I played with it a little bit, and the AI would have it animated the person from an image, putting it into a rack, and it had them going backwards and forwards into the rack. So it animated them putting it into the rack, but it left the wheel in the rack.
Right.
Right. So, but if you've got a simple product and you want to create like 3D rotation images, like it actually does that pretty well and pretty quickly just by throwing in your ASIN.
All right. So a little tidbit for those that are listening: if you don't have videos, you especially need to go look at my prior episode with Justin Wilhite from ComQuest Online, and he goes over what the ramifications are of not having a video in your image carousel.
Mm-hmm.
And so, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go on to the next question
Sure.
here. This is a good one. What do you think sellers should know before hiring a professional agency?
So for me, uh, if you're talking specifically about advertising, and I just had this conversation with some people at Accelerate who were newer to selling, um, I really kind of feel like you need to know at least the basics and the foundation of what it is that you're trying to offload before you offload it, right? A big mistake is just going in brand new and trying to offload the advertising piece specifically. In my mind, that's the most important part, um, from an expense perspective, right? It's going to
Yes.
be the most costly thing that you're doing. And it comes towards the tail end, right? Ads come after the product's been obviously found, launched. You're right. All your images, hopefully you've got listing optimized. Then you run your ads. So it's at the tail end, but it can be super expensive if not done correctly. So I think people need to understand what the basics are for create some campaigns. Amazon's making it easier and easier. They are updating the console all the time. There's a lot of options in there. Could be a little bit confusing, but most people should be able to figure it out how to create some campaigns and then watch them for at least, I'd say, a good month and figure out the basics of optimization. Figure out maybe I can get some software, maybe get some software to help you first to optimize that, right? Like things that I built at Helium 10, or some of the other tools that are out there. And then once
What
you do that,
are you building a software for ads management?
I am not building the software, but I am consulting with different softwares because I did spend so much time at Helium 10 doing that.
Okay.
I,
Yeah.
I have been, my shoulder's been tapped on a couple of different softwares
Yeah.
that I'm working on right now. And
So
I
can
do love that part.
Yeah, I bet. So can people come to you for advice on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if there's people out there that need consulting on ads, PPC specific software, then yeah, that's definitely something I can help with. But to wrap it up, it's a mistake to just hand it off immediately because you don't know what you wouldn't even know how to correct them if they
I
did
couldn't agree
something
more.
wrong. And the other thing too, on the flip side, the value proposition isn't there. You might look at a solution that's actually really affordable, but in your mind you're like, oh crap, that's super expensive because you
Yeah.
haven't even because you haven't done the thing yet. You
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know how much time and work and energy that is going to save you actually, because you haven't done any of it. So it's hard to even sometimes to, and I don't ever want to convince sellers to work with me. But
yeah,
if I feel like I have to, it's like, okay, they have no idea what I do. So that's
yeah,
not somebody I want to work with, to
yeah,
be honest.
yeah, yeah. I get it. I couldn't agree with you more. I have always given the same exact advice to every seller. Like, hey, how should I just hire an agency to run my ads? I'm like, no, you need to understand it first.
First.
Yeah,
Hmm. And
because
then scale. And then yes,
yeah, because you cannot manage an area that you have absolutely no understanding or knowledge of.
100%.
You're at the complete mercy of whoever is doing this, and
Yeah.
there are lots of ads agencies out there that
Yes.
just charge you
Hmm.
they charge you based on what you spend, so they recommend you spend more.
Exactly, which I don't
Yeah.
do. I always charge based on, or commission anyway, on PPC sales. But
Oh,
there
nice.
are unscrupulous agencies out there that will just, yeah, they'll take the brand new
A lot.
seller.
A lot.
And
Yeah.
unfortunately, it puts a bad taste in the seller's mouth about working with agencies in the future. I've had that a
Yep.
couple of times too.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
definitely do your due diligence, understand it before you offload any of your work, really to anyone, I think.
Yeah, I hope I mean, there's precious few people in this space that I actually trust with PPC, and Vince is among the very few people.
Oh, I
I
appreciate
don't
that.
say that because he's on the podcast. I wouldn't have invited him on the podcast if it wasn't true. So,
Appreciate that.
yeah,
Thank you,
well,
David.
thanks. Thank you, Vince, for coming on and dropping some nice little knowledge bombs, and, if anyone wants to get a hold of Vince, they go to
Evincedigital.com. It's evinced with a D, and it actually it does mean something if people actually look that word up, evinced. But it is a play on my name, obviously, because it's Vince Montero.
yes.
I just noticed I didn't put it on the screen. Yeah, that's my website. Most people reach me through LinkedIn. Vincent Montero, I think it's under, or maybe Vince Montero. I'll be the only one that has Sir Tacos in my title. Um,
Nice.
it says Vincent or Vince Sir Tacos Montero, and that's a name that I got from starting the Tacos Tuesday Q&A sessions at Helium 10.
I like it. So it's evincedigital.com, like this, right?
Two D's.
Oh,
Yeah.
2 B's. Okay, let me fix it.
And the word digital.
Oh, digital. Yeah, Vince.
Events and then digital.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh. Okay, hold on.
EVINCED
I hope nobody's
DIGITAL.
watching this. It's not Digitl? Alright, let's see if I
No.
got it right this time.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, good. I think I got it right that time.
Yeah, that's why I say
Event
with two D's, because it's like the D from the events plus the D from
Yes.
the digital.
Yes, yes. Good. Well, we probably should have planned that ahead of time. Oh, well. Alright, cool. Well, thanks, Vince, for being on the podcast. I really appreciate it, buddy, and I will see you in New York, I hope?
Yes, I will be
Alright.
at Innovate.
Alright, see you there,
Yeah,
buddy.
looking forward to it. Thanks, Danny.
Likewise. See ya.